What's up, guys? We got to shout out the new sponsor. It is Diet Smoke. You probably know Diet Smoke as the premier source for THC products, and you would be correct. What you probably don't know, and what I'm here to tell you, is they just released mushroom gummies, and they are the perfect intro to shrooms. Trust me, I tried it, and it was a great ride. Join the Diet Smoke community and discover the buzz for you. Visit dietsmoke.com today and use code VIRZI50. That's VIRZI50 for 50% off, guys. We are cutting it in half, and enjoy your journey to bliss. Diet Smoke, your partner in finding the perfect THC and mushroom products. Just visit dietsmoke.com and use VIRZI50 for 50% off. We have to shout out our great sponsor. It is HelloFresh, everybody. Whether your resolution is to save money, eat better, or stress less, HelloFresh is here to help do all three. Say hello to your most delicious year yet with fresh ingredients and chef-crafted recipes at a price you'll like, delivered right to your door. Go to HelloFresh.com/VirziFree. That's VIRZI free, and use code VirziFree for free breakfast for life, guys. That is insane. One breakfast item per box while subscription is active. That's free breakfast for life at HelloFresh.com/VirziFree with code VirziFree. What's up, everybody?
I do.
Actually, we all do. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Virzi Effect podcast show. My name is Paul Virzi. You guys listened to episode, wow, I don't know what it is since I've been in studio, but total 603, and I have an absolute great guest, somebody that I wanted on the show. I see her at the stand all the time, shoot the shit when we're doing sets there, and she was nice enough to do the show. Hannah Berner, who's actually crushing it right now.
Oh my God,
You're out there
thank you.
crushing it, but this is why...
One clap.
This is why, well, there's only one person in there, so you're bad 1,000.
I'm just used to saying one clap.
Yeah, it's bad when there's like 1,000 people. You're like, thank you,
One
sir,
clap.
balcony. No, so how I first heard about you was, well, you were very nice. We talked in the green room at the stand the first time we just spoke, and you had just gotten in there, started to do work at the stand a lot, but I was scrolling through TV and I saw you on some reality thing. And I didn't know what the show was. I didn't even know what channel it was. I just heard stand-up comedy being talked as I'm scrolling, and I'm going, and you had just started, you were doing a reality show, you just started dabbling in stand-up. And anytime you hear that on a reality show, you're like, you don't know if somebody's for real. You don't know if they're going to take this and go on the road and take their lumps. But that's kind of what you're doing. You're at the stand. You're doing like street shit, asking these questions to comics. But you're out there. You're up. I also saw you performed at a spot where I shot my first special, Comedy Central, at the Terrytown Music Hall.
Oh my God, it was haunted, but so great.
You know what? I heard that after. And if I would have heard that before, I would have, because I'm not good with that.
You know what was crazy? There was a spider or something that came down and was like on my face.
No.
Or like something flew, like a moth. I think it was a haunted moth, like hit me in the face while I was on stage.
Are you
and I'm
serious?
Like, yeah. And I love Terrytown. It's beautiful. It was a great place, but I'll never forget. And the crowd, the light's on you, so the crowd can see it coming for you.
Wait a minute. So when did you hear that it was haunted? Did you hear that it was haunted after the show, or like while you were there? Or
I think I joke that every theater's haunted.
Oh.
But that one had a really beautiful just energy to it, like friendly ghosts, supportive ghosts.
So are you all right? Because I'm not. Listen, I'm not into any kind of otherworldly shit. Like any.
What's your sign?
I'm a Scorpio.
Ooh, Scorpio King.
I'm a Scorpio.
He goes, I don't believe that shit, but horoscopes I'll fuck with.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I believe in the stars and shit, but I don't believe in like.
There's a lot of history in that theater.
No, I'm actually gonna say this. I believe in things like that, but I don't like it.
Yeah.
Like Bobby Kelly and I have gotten into arguments where here was one thing we said. Okay, if
Bobby Kelly's a ghost.
If you could choose this, I'll give you this question. Okay, this is a fun thing for people. if you had to go into the woods, but I mean wilderness woods. I'm not talking like, I'm talking like you had to go deep into some forest shit.
Okay.
Where you're not going to hear cars. Like you're in there.
You're in Iowa.
But you have enough to get through the night. So you have multiple bottles of water, you have granola bars, you're not going to starve to death, but you have to kind of make yourself something to sleep under, and you have to stay there in the darkness through the night, deal with the elements, or...
I'm so stressed right now.
Here's choice number 2. Choice number 2 is you are in a full-on, ridiculously haunted house, haunted mansion with
mansion,
jacuzzi. But no. You're the only person. You want amenities? You want amenities? You're like, listen, it's haunted, but they got fucking cucumber water.
There's an exorcism happening, but there is cucumber water.
No, it's haunted. They got a spa. No. Like you're in a legitimate
a heated toilet seat.
Like you're in a bidet. You got there's a masseuse. No, but like. And I told Bobby I would take the woods, and Bobby was like, "Fuck that!" I was like, "What did he say?" I said, "What if you see a little girl on a rocking horse?" He goes, "Dude, I just close my eye." Whatever he said, but I can't. I'm not. If I'm in the house for 5 minutes and I hear some shit or something flies across, I can't handle it.
I grew up in a brownstone in Park Slope.
Okay.
My grandpa in the 70s was a gym teacher in Brooklyn. Got one of these brownstones for cheap. And it was so haunted where like the sounds were just part of the
you just
experience.
Got used to it.
Yeah. And you knew from the creaks like who was walking, like you knew all that stuff.
Wait, what do you mean? What do you like? Oh, that's Clark? Oh, that's Carl. He likes to get a snack at 2 in the morning.
That's a little kid who died in the Civil War going la 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 la.
Yeah, see, and you could do that? You could but you're used to it.
I've never actually witnessed a ghost or anything. Honestly, like I'm stressed enough. Like, if anything, it's a good story. Also, as a comic, you see a ghost, you're like, that is 20 new minutes.
Isn't it funny how like we have something traumatic happen, and the first thing we do, we're like, oh shit, I got to try that tonight.
Well, it's also because immediately you tell your friends what happened who are comics, and then immediately they're like, write that down. And I'm like, I'm just expressing myself right now.
Yeah. How long have you been doing stand-up now?
So great question, because it's funny. Thank you for the intro. Also, I saw your Netflix special. I've seen you around town, and I started seeing you at the stands, and I was like, oh, I want to be friends with him. He's cool. And I know you're Italian, so I was like, I fuck with him. But I never wanted to be a stand-up. Like, I was obsessed with stand-up. Like in college, I was always going to the comedy clubs. My friends were like, why do you want to go to the comedy club? And I'm like, I just love it. I love seeing how they twist things. Like I just was obsessed with it. I'd watch all the Comedy Central hours and half hours, but I was a tennis player. That's all I did. I was from 8 to 22, I was a tennis player. I played for the University of Wisconsin. I was fully like trying to go pro. That's all I cared about was tennis. And
wow.
Yeah, it's kind of, that's all I want. I was an athletic person. I came from a family of sports, but the one thing I always say that kept me happy was laughter. Like when I'd lose, when that stuff stressed me out. I had a lot of performance anxiety with performing. It was so much pressure.
Right.
But like I could always make my teammates laugh. But that was not something you monetize. It would never cross my mind. And also I wasn't like particularly like a great public speaker. I wasn't like I don't know. I'm just like, I giggle a lot and like I'm silly and I'm outgoing. Yeah. But no one was like, that girl's a stand-up comedian at any time.
Wow, that's interesting. I had no idea. Wow, my everybody I know went to Wisconsin.
Really?
Yeah,
Go Badgers.
My managers, kids,
really?
Everybody. Yeah,
it's an amazing school and it's really like rah. From a kid from Brooklyn, it was a culture shock.
Yes.
Like the people there, everyone's kind of the same, as in like you love the Packers, you like beer, you like deep brats, and they're all the same like kind of fashion. Cheese curds. The food is so fucking good.
Yeah.
The Bloody Marys, they put like a kitchen sink in it. It's incredible.
That's why everybody there's fat there. Everybody's crazy. Gigantic.
But I come from Brooklyn where like it's so diverse. There's so many different things going on. And Wisconsin just like cold and fun and straightforward, and people go duck hunting, and it was definitely unique culturally. They thought I was exotic because I'm Italian, and they definitely thought I was outgoing because I mean I think it's very like polite there.
And you probably have a little bit of a Brooklyn accent.
Yeah.
So like you're in Wisconsin playing tennis with a Brooklyn. So let me ask you that. How so you would play like you were like that's Division I against like monster schools.
Yeah, we're playing
like,
Duke, we're playing Northwestern, we're playing all the top schools.
And you were trying to go pro, like that's what you
I was fully wanting to go pro my whole life. Like at 7 years old, I remember I told my parents I want to become a professional tennis player. And I think when you decide that, it's fun because I loved getting better. And it is, if you think about it, it is such like a lonely individual sport and like entrepreneurial kind of where I have a lot of comparisons to stand up where like I'm used to traveling every weekend. I'm used to getting on the court of the stage and there being variables and you're being like, fuck, what do you do? I'm used to like when something happens, it's my fault. And that's kind of all I've dealt with.
Because you're in control of it.
Yeah, and I'm just used to that and it's painful, but it's what I'm used to. But I definitely suppressed a lot of my like silly, goofy, creative side to be a tennis player. And then I got hit by a car senior year of college, but I also wasn't doing as well as I wanted to. And I took it as a sign from the ghosts that were haunting the school.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to move back to New York. I'm basically quitting my dream. And then I had a full kind of, existential crisis for a couple years and then fell into comedy.
I knew you were going to be a fucking great guest. I did not know that you played tennis at Wisconsin. I didn't know you got hit by a car.
I shouldn't talk about the car that much. I blocked that out. It was fucking freezing. It was like 6 a.m. I'm walking to weights and I just got hit by a car.
So did that end? That ended tennis or you were able to get back?
I was good in like 3-4 months, but like I lost a bunch of matches in tie breaks that like if I hadn't gotten hit by the car, I would have won. And I was like, there's only so much a person can handle emotionally. I was burnt out. And I feel like so much of my life, the best moments have been when I like have quit shit, got fired from shit, or like really fucking failed at something and then fucking moved on.
That's amazing because they say like you really don't learn from success. No. You learn from getting hit hard and not literally. I mean, you literally got hit. Yeah. But I want to. You said something.
Jump in front of a car.
It changes your career. No, let me ask you a question though. You said something that I found really interesting. You said that you had a couple tie breaks that you think you would have got if you didn't get hit by a car. Was that something that you felt physically in your either legs or in your body or was it mental?
It was a little bit of both, but like I was really fast on the court. I was a very physical player, so having like my ankle like a little bit and my calf a little fucked up, like you could lose a match by 2 points. Tennis. So like I had that happen like 4 times in my final season and I just was like, look, this isn't it. But to go to your parents or all the people who supported you and be like, I know our dream is to go pro. And also, not to get in the weeds of it, but going pro in tennis is not like getting on the Knicks where like you could lose every game. I mean, they're doing well now, but you could lose every game and you still get paid. Tennis, you only get paid when you win. You have to pay for a coach.
It's like golf.
Exactly. Yeah. Where it's so hard unless you're like top 50 to make a living. Yeah. So I had one of those moments. I said, you know what? You haven't enjoyed this for a while and you're burnt out. And I think there's another side to you that we can try to find. But it's hard because you go from like being MVP at University of Wisconsin. I mean, women's tennis, no one really cared about, but you still had a status.
So you were the top player on the squad?
By the end, I was definitely one of the top players.
Yeah.
And then you graduate and you're like interning at like a fashion, boutique. And you're just kind of like, what do I do? I did cold calling sales.
I did too.
My dad is like, you want to be successful? You got to do cold calling sales.
I knocked doors in Queens and shit. Phone, cable, internet, dinner time.
You're a real one.
Fucking dinner time.
They're pissed on dinner time.
And I'm going, hey, we put fiber optic. You could get all the cable, phone, internet in one. And they were like, it was tough, but that changes things, man.
It makes you stronger for sure.
Hearing no like that, getting a door slammed in your face, get the fuck out of here. And all of a sudden you're like, then you get a yes and you're like, oh, this is what it takes.
Well, I think like charisma is like 95% sales. And my dad is a sales guy. He's a salesman. And he's gotten so far just like being a likable guy in the room. Like he walks in and everyone wants to like dab him up and stuff. I'm like, what the fuck? But it's him. And I actually did cold calling sales and I was doing really well, but I fucking hated it. Yeah. And I was like, how'd I go from the pressure of tennis now to the pressure of performing with this? And I'm like, I just want to be creative. So I did some marketing and marketing was boring as fuck. like no creativity, just like no highs, no lows. So I was bored. And then I just said to myself, I want to do video. That was all I put into the universe. Not to go all LA on you.
But what do you mean video? Like
so
improv shit? Or?
At the end of University of Wisconsin, my last semester, I did some sports broadcasting.
Okay.
And I fell in love with it. Yeah. And you can even Google, like, there's ones of me interviewing like some of the freshmen, and it's so funny because then the street videos blew up, but I was doing that where I was messing with the guys, like, what's your nickname? And I knew some of the guys because we were athletes, so I'd show a different side to them, like they'd be giggling and stuff. And I just remember thinking, like, after I graduated, I was like, I want to interview people on the subway. Like, I had these thoughts, but I was like, that's not a job. no one's doing that.
Yeah.
So I said I want to do video, and I started working for like editing. I knew how to edit videos.
That's
from
huge.
college.
That's huge.
Who knew that being a stand-up comedian who can edit videos was so helpful nowadays? And I know, like, older generations are like, this is fucked up.
Yeah.
But the fact that I knew how to edit from college, because I'd edit my own sports broadcasting bids. So I didn't get into it for comedy. I was like, I want to do video. And then someone hit me up and was like, you're funny. Because I'm like the funny one in the group chat.
Well, you're the thing about you're silly.
I'm silly,
and that comes across, but that's likable.
Look at me yelling. I'm silly. I swear I'm silly. But no, I want to just goof around, and I don't take myself seriously, because if I did, I'd cry all the time.
Right, and I think that there's something cool about that. There's even a vulnerability to it, but people like it, and that's why people probably. Because when I talked to you the first time, and I think that I'm really good at. And we all are really good at, like, getting a vibe from somebody. But when I first talked to you at the stand, and we were in the green room waiting to go up, you were just like, oh yeah, I'm doing this, very like likable, upfront, honest. And I think that helps in sales. That helps. It's funny you said that. We kind of have similar things, because before I dropped out of college to do stand up, like something in sports, communications degree, something in sports, because I love sports.
Yeah.
And then I knocked doors and I did the sales thing too. But it sounds like you kind of got pushed right into what you were supposed to do, what you want to be doing, and you're doing it.
It's honestly like all I cared about. Like, I didn't care about money. I didn't care about less. I wanted to wake up and like not be depressed and feel like I didn't have a purpose. Because my whole life, even though, tennis is intense, I felt like I had a purpose. Like, waking up, I'm like, I'm going to win Wimbledon. Obviously, things went awry. and now I'm doing something different. But I wake up now with a purpose. Like, I like to create.
Yeah.
I love creating. And someone, I think it was Andrew Santino, once said, comics are either like athletes, addicts, or both. And like athletes, I think you have to be an addict to be an athlete. You have to be addicted to sports. So it's definitely a mentality that like, the craziest part is when I started doing, long story short, I started doing videos for this brand, making funny videos for this like brand on social media. And I started a podcast once I got the reality TV show, which was very random.
Yeah.
My friend goes, go to Caroline's. Caroline's asked me, do you want to do a live podcast? They started doing live podcasts. And my friend was like, I dare you to do 10 minutes of stand-up comedy. And I had stand-up comedy friends. Like, I wasn't completely blind to it.
Yeah.
I'd been watching a lot, and I'd been writing a ton of tweets.
Okay.
So literally just like organize my tweets.
That's your joke book, right?
Literally. Because some of them are premises, some of them are punchlines.
Yeah.
So I remember before going up, I was like, fuck it, I'm going to do 10 minutes in front of a sold-out Caroline's crowd. That's not what you're supposed to do. But I didn't know better. I was fucking delusional and dumb, which can be so powerful.
Yes.
No one said you can't do that.
Yeah.
And I remember before I went on stage, I thought, oh no, I hope this isn't like tennis where I get in my head and I get performance anxiety and I can't enjoy like performing.
Yeah.
And I got on stage and immediately I felt like I was just talking to my friends at brunch. It was like, I felt so calm.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the show, everyone was like, hey, the stand-up in the beginning was actually like our favorite part. And some of my friends who are New York comics were there, and they pulled me aside and they were like, okay,
you got to do this.
If you want to do this for real, this is what you got to do. You got to get up as much as you can. Like I had people in my life who kind of were like, if you want to do this, this is the right way to do it. And I like being coached. So I'm like, tell me the rule book. Tell me how to like get there.
Because you got that from Wisconsin and so you were able to kind of use that. All right, guys, before we continue with the show, we got to shout out our sponsor, HelloFresh. Whether your resolution is to save money, eat better, or stress less, HelloFresh is here to help you do all three. Say hello to your most delicious year yet with fresh ingredients and chef-crafted recipes at a price you'll like, delivered right to your door. Make saving time your breeziest resolution with quick, convenient recipes delivered right to you. Just choose your meals and select your delivery date. HelloFresh handles the meal planning and shopping, so all you have to do is open your weekly box of pre-proportioned ingredients and step-by-step recipes to get cooking. Guys, I have 2 kids. My wife and I, we have busy schedules. We absolutely love this. The ingredients are fresh. You open it up. It gives you step-by-step directions to cook. You have a meal that's amazing, restaurant quality, and it's awesome. All you have to do is go to HelloFresh.com/VirziFree and use code VirziFree. That's VIRZI free. And you will get a free breakfast for life, 1 breakfast item per box while your subscription is active. That's free breakfast for life, guys, at HelloFresh.com/VirziFree with code VirziFree. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. All right, guys, before we continue the show, we want to shout out our new sponsor, which is Diet Smoke. We'd like to welcome back our old friends from Diet Smoke. You probably know Diet Smoke as the premier source for your THC products, and you would be correct. What you might not know is Diet Smoke just launched their new mushroom gummies, and it is the perfect intro to shrooms. I tried it and it was amazing. Before I keep going, the team at Diet Smoke sent me a care package with the new shrooms, and I love the uplifting buzz, a really nice microdose. I actually did. What I did was I was home. Kids and Stacy are sleeping. I had nothing to do for a couple days. I always have to make sure it's days. And I'm like, you know what? Let me try this. I did their peach flavored mushroom gummy, and I gotta tell you, I had a great time. It was like a party by myself. It was amazing. So if you're looking to try that, it is such a great intro to doing that. I really, really enjoyed it, and I think you guys would too. With such a wide range of strengths and doses, Diet Smoke promises you'll find the gummy drink or smokables for you. And I would tell any friend that if you were actually thinking about doing this, Diet Smoke is seriously the way to do it, because it gives you such a nice intro to it without worrying about going to a place that you don't want to go. With such a wide range and strengths and doses, Diet Smoke promises you'll find the gummy, drink, or smokable for you. Whether you want something strong to unwind, a boost of energy to keep you going, or a lighter option for a mellow high, Diet Smoke is for you. Go to dietsmoke.com and use code VIRZI50 for 50% off today.
Yeah.
And you take that in. Did you have like, going back to the tennis thing, did you have somebody you wanted to be like, was it like Steffi Graf? Was it like, who was like your...
I guess Serena. I was that generation. Like Serena was just the shit. Yeah. And like Federer is just like the most beautiful athlete of all time.
Dude, Roger Federer in his prime is the greatest tennis player I've ever... A
gorgeous, effortless, beautiful.
He plays effortless, and it's so good. Yeah. Yeah, Roger Federer was like ridiculous.
Instant, like on his tippy toes, just flying through the air. But tennis is a fucking like mental nightmare, that sport. They say like tennis players have anger management, but it's more like the sport gets you so insane that you start yelling at yourself.
Who's that tall Greek guy? Not the Greek guy. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Philippoussis?
The guy that just like, he's a tall guy.
Kyrgios.
Yeah, that
Nick
kid.
Kyrgios.
That kid, like, forget anger management. Like, he just does it right there.
Well, what's funny is he's actually very down to earth, funny. He's doing some reporting. But when you get on the court, you lose your fucking mind, because every point is like chess, and there's so many ups and downs, and you could win a match and lose 48% of the points. Like, it's torture.
That's why it makes me think like why John McEnroe just lost his shit.
I've broken rackets, like, and people who don't know tennis will be like, they talk to themselves on the court, and I'm like, yeah, because you're losing your fucking mind, and you don't have a coach. Yeah, you can't call timeout, you can't pass the ball.
You know what I just thought of? Imagine if a comic did a bit and it didn't work, and they were just like, motherfucker, you fuck this, I hate this city.
That's literally Jessica Pearson, though. You know how she turns and she goes, why did you tell him that. That's kind of like tennis. I'll turn to the back and be like, you fucking idiot. Like, what are you practicing for if you're going to be a fucking dumbass? Like, when I was little, I wasn't allowed to curse. And then I'd get on the court, like 10 years old, and I'd be like, you fucking motherfucking fuck.
Oh, shit.
It's the sport. There's no coach. You're out there on your own.
There's no, it's all you. And it kind of, what did Chris Rock say? Chris Rock said also boxing.
Yes.
Chris Rock compares boxing to stand up. He's
and
like,
people compare boxing to tennis. Because it's two people striking.
It's two people. You're by yourself. What you do and your actions are it.
Yeah.
Right? That's it. Yeah. If you get knocked out, you bomb.
Yeah.
For the majority of good fighters, you probably win the majority of your matches, but the ones that you do bad or you lose are probably so horrible.
Especially when you go into, it's not just for fun. You're like, I need to win, or I'm a loser. Were
you very competitive to the point of like?
Yeah, you have to be like insane. But it got to the point where it's like a drug, where like the wins, I'd just be like, thank God I won it, and then the losses were like, fuck, because like I'd be expected to win, you know. So like every match you go on, it's just don't lose, and that stops being fun.
Now, were your parents in New York? Were they able to see your matches?
So they would fly in sometimes, but like I went to Florida when I was 14 because I was ranked, and they were like, you got to go to Florida. So I had a kind of a crazy upbringing. I think that's why my parents, people will be like, oh, like, you see what your daughter's saying on stage? And I'm not that dirty. Right. But I guess like the average parent's friend is like, she's talking about queefing on her Instagram. But my parents are like, first of all, I come from them, so they get it. Like, I'm just like them. But two, they're like, we just want her to be happy. Yeah. We've seen her in situations that are difficult.
And I think that you made a good point just now. We do come from, the people that we come from, we're kind of a part of them. Like, my parents, they would like, SNL would be on in the background when I was a kid. Like, they would watch Johnny Carson. Like, they have really funny, even though it's different, they have good senses of humor. And I think like that's why we're silly in a way.
I think it's funny because crowd work now is a thing that I've been doing to post material online. And I think like a year and a half ago, I hadn't really done it that much. And I remember asking my husband, who's a comic, and I was like, do you have any like tips? And he's like, just do it. And I was like, okay, it's not helpful. And then I just started doing it, and I realized like that's you do with your family is crowd work. Your dad sits down and fucking says some shit to you, you say some shit back. You're like, that's podcast, it's crowd work. And I was like, oh fuck, I've been training for this my whole life, being fucking slick in a conversation.
And you know what? Somebody said to me, they were like, you realize when you do a podcast, especially for an hour, and a lot of times I'll do it alone at home, like when I don't have a guest.
That's tough.
And I'm like, they're like, that is like a set, because somebody will hit me up and go, dude, I was in my cubicle when you said that I was crying. I'm not seeing it, but it's a rep. Because we're talking.
Yes.
And we have to be creative and funny. We're not getting feedback. We're just talking shit. You know, Michael Costa did tennis.
Yes. So Costa and I randomly met when I was first starting off. And I remember being like, do you have any advice for like tennis players getting into the comedy world? And we hit together before COVID. And he was actually like really inspirational, because I was like, if he could do it, like there's a chance for tennis players.
And then, so what happened with the, I remember Chris Italia called me up and he goes, dude, you got to do this, something on the street. And I go, Chris, I got a family. I didn't even know what he was talking about.
I got a family.
I was like, Chris, I'm going to do my set. What are you talking about? He goes, no, Hannah Berner. She does. And then I saw the clips, and it's just silly shit with comics. Yeah. And it blew up, and it's great because it was like the questions weren't normal, boring. Some of those questions are just like, so you're asking like out there things to get a funny answer from somebody that's funny. Yeah. And that's why people want to hear a funny person answer a funny question.
So that's a crazy thing, because I just like to create things, and I get very bored very easily. And I remember I was just sitting at home, and I was like, I want to ask men questions that like they're not normally asked, and like not shit to get them in trouble, but like, how many tampons does a woman use in a week, and like see what kind of shit they say. And like, you're getting nervous.
No, I'm trying to think. I'm going like, I'm thinking my wife, and I gotta be like 7, like 6. But then I'm like, no, there's like multiple in a day.
I go, how do you pee with a tampon in?
Yeah, you guys got to take it out and then put a new one in, right?
No. Oh, okay. You'd be amazing. You'd be crushing.
The confidence in that response. Now you got to take it
out. I believed him.
She's like, no, you really don't. You could actually pee.
Can you poop at one end? No.
But see, that would be a funny
hilarious.
thing because that's hilarious.
And then, because I told at first I actually didn't want comics. I just happened to be at the stand all night, and I was like, there's drunk people walking around. But it turned out drunk people the next day will message you and be like, take that down. Or people have real jobs. And the comics were like, we want to be in it. I'm like, no, I want to get like men at their most vulnerable. And then I realized men are men. Oh, it doesn't matter if they're a comic or not. And I was like, you don't have to try to be funny. Just like authentically answer the questions. But then it turns into like a fun riff sesh.
Yeah.
And then I posted these online, and people were losing their mind. And I realized like, oh, because most people aren't doing me on the street with comics.
Yeah.
So then I started like tagging all the comics, and it's funny because some of these guys started to kind of like be characters that people were like, oh, we love the guy with the curly hair, or like that guy was a villain in the last one.
Oh, okay. So they were like,
they liked
it wasn't
the
like their
guys.
authentic self.
Well, no, more like they were their authentic self, and people started to just like love them because the same guys were going to be in each video, and they'd be like, oh, this guy always says something funny, or this guy has no idea what's going on, but he's sweet.
That's what, so what, like obviously I'm not putting you on the spot, but what were the questions like that tampon one? Just shit like that?
The tampon one is a great, but asking guys stuff that then also like girls want to know, like I'll be like, what is your like favorite hairstyle on a woman? So that sounds like kind of a boring question, but if you think about it, like having a guy describe hairstyles is very funny.
That's hilarious. Dude, I wouldn't know. I'd be like, I used to like the bangs with the, you know, with
funny.
the, yeah.
I once said, what's your favorite like makeup on a woman? And like having them explain it was so fun. And then one guy was like ponytail. Like it's hilarious.
That's so funny.
They were cracking me up. And then I would be able to shit on them because I knew them. So we'd get so comfortable together, and I'd edit it so like everyone was good.
I like the thick eyeliner.
Yeah. One guy was like, I like colors, and it like blew up because they're like, this kid is like fucking 6-year-old with crayons. He's like, I like when she has colors on her face.
That's so funny.
And then you have Francis, who was giving like detailed remarks. Like our last guy's like, what's your skincare routine? Because these are things happening with men. I think I'm at a part of the internet that's a lot of like girl stuff, and we want to know like, do you have a girl shower? Like, what's your shower routine? And I wanted to ask guys their opinion of it, and it was kind of, it created more of like a guy girl like community on my page that was super fun, and it's so innocent and wholesome.
No, it's that's what I think the funny thing, and they're almost questions you think people would know easily. Yeah. But then you're like, wait, I don't know what the favorite hair color. Like, I don't even know.
Or I guess I'd get dirty. Like sometimes I'd be like, are blue balls real? And start that debate. Or I'd be like, what do you think about when you don't want to come fast? And like that shit is so funny because the answers. One guy said 9/11. Like I was sobbing. Like these guys were murdering.
9/11. I was thinking of like the worst shit. Like who's thinking of that during sex? It's like, could it be anything else?
It was so fun. And also,
Pearl Harbor comes to mind. I just, you know what I mean? Like, that is so, but you know what?
Like abortion.
That's, yeah. See, the thing is, I wouldn't, if I did that, I wouldn't try to be funny. I would really, but then that's what would be funny.
So that's why I tell them, I said, don't try to be funny.
Yeah.
Be authentic yourself. That's why at first I didn't want comics, but then like they would start on something and then start riffing and it would be so cute. But the best ones are when they're not trying to be funny. Like Ian Lara, so like he'll just answer straight up, and it's great. It's so good.
Yeah, he's such a New Yorker too. I love you. But that's actually smart too, because sometimes you're at the stand. What people don't know is we could sit at the stand for 3-4 hours.
Yeah.
Like you got a 8:15 upstairs, and you got to go down. You're there, and it's like, so to get footage, to actually create content. Because I sit up there and I'll be like, get a snack, like get a appetizer. Then I wait, then I'll get dinner. Then I talk to a couple people, and then I'm just like, oh, I gotta
get dessert.
Get dessert. Then Chris Italia comes. You want an espresso? Like, I'll do an espresso. I've been here for 3 hours. I got a long drive. And so you want to smoke a cigar? Nothing productive. And you did something that like not only blew up, but that's listening to comedians just talking normal shit is actually funny because you're not trying. You're talking to some. We're in the world of. It's true. We're in the world of the funniest people in the world.
Yeah, you're sitting
the
around
funniest people
with the funniest fucking people. It's like you just want to put your phone up. And I think it's because I was at a point in my career where like I was just needing to get time on stage. And thank you to the stand, Chris Italia, because they booked the fuck out of me. Yeah. And I was, I'm doing the patio, I'm doing all of it. But I was like, okay, I'm starting my night at 6. I'm getting out at 12. I had some lingering time.
And you made the best is when I would be like, there's a lot of girls in there. I'd be like, Hannah. I'd be like, fucking Hannah's on the show. I'd be like, there'd be like a Wednesday night, and it would just be like every 25-year-old in Brooklyn would just be dressed up like they're going to the Grammys.
They see the stand, and the stand has martinis.
Well, that's it. The stand
and the girls were like, "This is a great date spot." So it has like the Legion of Skanks guys, and then all these like girls from Murray Hill just like coming in and sitting together. But I do think it was definitely fun to see. Just like, I have a lot of stuff that like, I think it's because of tennis. And because of being in sports, I'm used to being in like a male space and taking up space. Like, I always trained with all guys.
Yep.
My dad is my best friend in terms of like, it's just, we're very close, my brother. So I think stand-up can be hard sometimes when you're a woman feeling comfortable just in the space.
Yeah.
So I think I was like, I just have to take advantage of the fact that like, I know I have the balls to ask these guys these questions.
Yeah.
And not a lot of people are doing that, so like, let's see what happens with it. But it's one of those things too where it's like, just fucking create. And like, I've done so many things that were the worst, stupidest ideas, but I just like move on.
No, but that's the thing. And it's like, and anybody like talking shit or like hating, they just can't do. Like my son and his basketball team in high school.
You're like,
all the kids,
I'm talking shit about my son.
No. My son.
My son is a piece of shit.
I'm so Sicilian that I couldn't. No, but like my son's.
He's a prince.
Nah, you see his beautiful eyes? He's got like blonde hair and blue eyes. Like he's like ridiculous. Yeah. So like he's gonna crush. I mean, he's gonna crush. So so he plays basketball, and like all the kids that don't play basketball that are in the bleachers, they're always like yelling, like, "Come on!" And I'm just going like, none of them made the team. Mm-hmm. So let people, you play. Yeah. You and your friends at ball and our good players play. When people just yell, that's outside shit. It doesn't matter. They don't do. Yeah. Like, we're doing. Yeah. So you're going to hear, like, stuff on the street, or, I don't like Virzi, or I don't like that. It doesn't matter.
Someone told me once, they're like, I'm not doing your stuff because, like, it's hack. And I'm like, because people have done Man on the Street. I'm like, people do podcasts. Is podcast hack?
No.
But I do think you're so right. It's that, like, do you want to be the one commenting? Right. Or the one like that's actually doing.
Right.
And I also think like I want to be so busy that I don't even know what people are saying about me because I'm on a plane. You know, like I'm busy. I'm like at the venue. I don't know what the fuck people are saying at me somewhere else. You know.
So what did somebody say? They said you never get a hater from somebody that's above you.
It's true.
Right? Nobody's that's above is gonna start hating
But
down.
I also tell people like if no one's hating on you, you're not doing well.
Tiffany Haddish said that. Tiffany Haddish actually made, and I don't know a lot about Tiffany Haddish. I don't watch all of her stuff. But she said something where she goes, if somebody's going to take the time to write something like a fucking whole thing, and they're going to do that, you affected them in some way. Yeah. She's like, they almost like you.
That's star power. They love you.
They almost like you. It's like a sick stalking.
Well, hate and love are
there's a fine line.
A very thin line.
Yes.
But yeah, attention is a weird thing where like you want people's attention and you can't control how they think about you. But at the end of the day, I think with stand-up, it's like us getting our voice and saying what we want and letting people receive it how they want.
Yeah. And if you're not doing what you want to do up there, it's not like tennis where you're going to lose a match. You're going to just get off and learn from, when I got into that topic, right?
That's so beautiful that you said that. Right? That's why I love it.
So in tennis, you're like, oh my God, dude, if I don't get this point, like I'm going to disappoint. Like I'm fucking, like you have all this. Now, if you're on stage and you go on stage and you start talking about, you either go into a political joke or something that's going on, so in society, and you're like, you're just going to I didn't kind of have the right angle on that. Okay, what could I have done? And then you're motivated, like that's my thing is just like I'm motivated to like, I fucked that up, but now I know what to do.
Yes.
That's the beautiful thing about it. It's like there's no really, once you have the balls to get up there and do it and be funny, then everything else is kind of gravy.
That's the hardest part. But I think what you said is great because tennis, I had a lot of ego. They always say the ego is the enemy.
Yes.
Tennis was my everything. If I won, I'm the queen. If I lost, I'm a piece of shit. So I felt so much pressure. So when I started stand up, I was green, and when I had a set that didn't go well, I didn't take it to my ego. I always was like, I fucking learned a lot that set. Like whenever anything would go awry, I would always walk off the stage like, I just became a better comic.
Yes.
Because next time that happens, I'm going to know exactly what to do. But sometimes you can get caught up and walk off and be like, I suck. But whenever the set's too easy, you almost feel like you didn't get better.
Yeah, when the set's too easy, when things go too well, and anytime somebody gets off stage thinking they figured it out.
Ooh, that's dangerous.
You know?
Once I got off stage early on, I told my husband, I was like, I murdered. And he goes, talk to me when you actually fucking murder. Learn how to actually murder before you talk about murdering. And I remember being like, what the fuck is he talking about? But like, I'm lucky that I'm married to this like very established, successful comic who keeps me like...
Keeps it the right way.
He keeps me in perspective. I don't look at the comment. We have rules, and he fucking keeps me like
Dude,
right.
I remember one time I was hammered, and I was just in a good mood, and this young comic comes up to me, and they were like, "Hey," like they were like really wanted to talk to me. I had just done a set at the Garden, and they knew about it, and they came up, and I was like hammered, and I didn't mean to say it like this, and luckily they took it, but I go, you're not supposed to be really good right now. And they were like, but I am kind of good. And I'm like, no, I'm not trying to shit on, I'm just saying you're supposed to be, if you're 3-4 years in, you're supposed to be what a 3-4 year comic does. Mm-hmm. And then guess what? When you get to 6, 8, and 10, you're going to be what that comic is. Mm-hmm. And if you're putting in the work, you're going to be at the top of the 10-year people. That's how I look at it. And then the 20, like that's how I look at it. Like
you're so right. And stand-up is so different than like if I say I want to become a lawyer and they go, okay, these are the classes you have to take and these are the years you have to put in and this is what you have to pass on this test. Where stand-up is a feeling. So like when you're 3 years in, that's all you know, and you're like, it worked. This is it. But
right,
you don't even know what how you could have handled it and stuff like that. So that's why I love that it's not a win-loss. Like it really is art, and it's like. It's a performance. We're artists.
Wouldn't it be funny if like early doctors just talking shit? Like, dude, I'm gonna crush this surgery,
I fucking murder.
Dude, that quadruple bypass, I just fucking crushed that shit. No, man, that's honestly though, Hannah, and I'm not just saying this because you're here, you're my guest, because I told people I wanted you on the show because of why, but like you have the right attitude and you have the right. You're like, you're kind of, you're silly and you're having fun and you're going to keep growing, but you also know, and probably being married to an established comedian that, because I've worked with your husband at the Cellar, and like when you're in it for 20 something years, to be around somebody like that, to tell you like, hey, do this, or you know what, you're going to figure it out for yourself, but this is what you're on the right path.
That's the one thing. Every now and then he'll be like, look, I did this, I fucked up, and I'm seeing you do it. And sometimes I have to be like, I need to make the mistake on my own to like actually learn and actually grow from it.
Yeah.
Also, shout out, Des just put out a YouTube special.
Oh, nice.
So yeah,
Des Bishop. Yeah, dude. Yeah, funny. We've been trying. I don't really. I'm just so convenient at the stand with it be able to park in front. So I don't really go to the Cellar as much, but I wanted to play golf with him. Hopefully one day we'll play golf. Yeah,
hell yeah.
He's we always used to just sit at that table at the Cellar and talk golf. Oh yeah. That's it. Like we've been doing it. We're like, yeah, dude, golf. Where do you golf? Do you golf at that place in the Bronx? It doesn't feel like you're in the everyone says it doesn't feel like you're in the Bronx, right? It feels like you're in like
it's the same conversation every time. Like Rich Voss, every time I just bring up golf. And he gets excited.
So this is the last thing I'll ask you, and then we're gonna do this again. But I know, are you getting from the comedy community, so to speak? Are you getting jealousy, envy? Are you getting people that are frowning at you, or are you getting people that are like genuinely, or are you getting it all?
I feel like when I started comedy, I felt like I was like, this is my third job. Like I've been in this business. Like I've just felt tired. Like I didn't come in, like I was never down for like the gossip or the drama. I love gossip and drama, but like in my own shit and other shit, but like comedy to me is like love. It's like about these are my coworkers, we're performing. And I think when I first started, because I had some of a following, I definitely but people were to my face. They'd be like, oh, go tell your tweets on stage. Like they were fucking with me, which I think was almost fun, because it's like they like me a little because they were mean to me. And then the hand on the street stuff was cool because like I feel like some comics I got to know a lot better. And then it's like I kind of felt like I was putting some people on, and people kind of like remember when you were there for them, and then they helped me with stuff. So I just love the comedy community. I think it saved my life in a way, because I found a purpose again with these people. Like when I'm going through hard shit with other stuff, they just make me laugh. So I hope that I'm getting some hate because it means I'm doing well.
Yeah.
But overall, I guess I'm at the point where like I'm 32 and I don't care because I'm making money.
No, I think you're doing. I think
as long as I'm making money and I can like live my life, I don't care. But I have a competitive side where I want to like, I'm like, oh, if people don't watch my shit, like I want them to like it.
I think that
I have enough insecurity where I'm going to keep grinding. I'm not like at a zen by any means.
No, but you have, I think you're right where you need to be. And I think you're like, and I mean that here, and you're going to get that. Anybody doing that is just seeing what you're doing and going, looking in the mirror going, what the fuck am I doing? Because you're doing everything the right way. And I get that sense, and I'm never wrong. So,
but also coming from you, it means so much to me. Because I know you've been in the game forever and you've seen so much. Yeah. So I appreciate that so much.
Well, 20 years, not forever, man. I'm still
and
young.
Like you've seen dinosaurs and
you're like what you and Rodney Dangerfield used to have. It's like, Jesus Christ, man, I'm fucking 40.
I'm like, what was George Carlin really like?
No, but I tell everybody where they could see you, where your next shows are.
Oh, hell yeah.
And follow her, watch all of her stuff, and keep going, man. I can't wait to see like you just keep getting on stage and keep writing and keep getting better.
I'm hustling. I'm nervous because I'm still in my first, like putting together my first ever like special soon.
Yeah.
And the process of like coming up with a new special, I'm like, what the like that's crazy.
Listen, that never goes away because I'm about to do my 4th hour third special.
Yeah.
And when that's done, I don't put anything out that I've did before.
Yeah.
So I literally just go in on ground zero with nothing.
That's called being a comic.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
I literally call that going in the deep water. You're going in the deep end. It's late at night and like you don't know what's swimming in there, but you're gonna figure it out.
I got my classics. I'm just playing the classics, and now I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to go on stage. So that's exciting for me. It keeps me feeling alive. But yeah, go to hannahberner.com/shows. I think I have Atlantic City. Connecticut. I'm thinking about like East Coast shit. And listen to my pod Giggly Squad, and Burner Phone is one with me and my husband that we do.
Awesome. Guys, check out Hannah, man. She's really like, she was somebody that when I met her at the stand, I was like, there's something, this is different. This is somebody that's in it and in it for the right thing. And then seeing now a couple years after our first talk, you're really in it. So, check her out, guys. Check me out. Where am I going to be? Mohegan Sun this weekend.
Oh, hell
I'll be
yeah.
at Mohegan Sun this weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Next week, I'm doing Point Pleasant, New Jersey. Uncle Vinny's never been. The Den Theater. February 24th, I'm shooting my next special. Tickets are going. They're almost gone for the late show. There's still some for the first show. Get in there. PaulVirzi.com for all my shows. Check out Nocturnal Emission, still streaming on Netflix. And I will see you guys next week. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. That was amazing.